In which country, in which city, in which country. He is sitting in any corner of the world, and he can make another person a kangal in any corner of the world. In today's times, they say that the hacker whose story I am going to tell, FBI had made a list. In it, it had the top 10 most famous hackers. He had a name in his heart. There are many names of him, and one name is called Happy Hacker. Happy Hacker is because the pictures you see, in that, every one of them has a smile on his face. Now, a person smiles like this, that he is happy, he is not worried, and that is why the name of this person is called Happy Hacker. For 5 years, the FBI, the American Agency for Federal Bureau of Investigation, named the team, the people who are connected to this agency, have been looking for it. Interpol, that is, international police, the whole world, that is connected to it, they are looking for it. But for 5 years, they have been giving everything, and after 5 years, they have been caught. And the story of catching it is very strange. The beginning of this story is in 2009. In the American Jordan area, some banks get strange complaints. Some people say that our account is there, our money is coming out of the account. We are getting something out, we didn't get anything. Some financial organizations and some other people of corporations who take money, they felt the same way. A company like Microsoft wrote a complaint. Now the police are investigating the FBI. What is happening? Where are people's money disappearing from? Slowly, we get complaints that we are out of here. It is said that about 60 million, that is 1 million is 10 lakhs. 60 million's computer was hacked in 3 years. Now, after hacking all these computers, whether it is information, money, it was the right of that person who hacked it. In the middle of 2009, 2012, this happy hacker hacked all the computers. $4 billion. And more than that, 99% cases were in America, and the rest were in America. So the most important thing was the mark. And that's why the FBI team was worried about catching him. Who is he? He is stuck. For a couple of years, they didn't know who the killer was. They didn't get the whole search. Finally, an FBI agent gets an input. There is a man in Algeria, and the man's name is Hamza Bendelladj. Hamza Bendelladj is a software engineer, a computer graduate. He was only 20 years old at that time. He had a chance to hack this computer and make money for it. He had a chance to get it. Now the FBI team got this input through other agencies. The FBI team opened an agent for him. The agent kept on spreading for months. Somehow he made his network. 1 from the other, 2 from the other, 3 from the other. Finally, he reached Hamza Bendelladj. When he reached there, the FBI agent showed himself as a hacker. He is a criminal. It is his job to make money from people's banks. So at that time, when he met him, he said that he wanted to touch people in this way. Then a software came, and especially on Darknet. And it was very popular in the middle of the criminal. His name was SpyEye. That means his eyes. This software developed in the Middle East. There was Hamza and another partner, so the FBI agent got all the details during their investigation. After that, they meet Hamza for a day. Now they have to hold hands and say, "I want this pie. I want to buy it." Hamza gets ready and says, "Okay, we will give it." Now the FBI agent is convinced that this operation is successful. But at the time of delivery and all that happened, Hamza does not reach. Hamza left. Now the FBI agent got his hands empty. But now a face came. Now through that face, the FBI started to kidnap Hamza's entire Kundalini. When Kundalini was kidnapped, she found out that Hamza is a place of Algeria. There is a Tiziozzo, Cuba, so Tiziozzo is the city of Algeria in Cuba. So it was born there. It was born on 3rd June 1988. It is 12 years old. It is 24 years old. It is a 14-year-old boy. So in Algeria, I was born. I was very smart since childhood. I was from a good family. My parents taught me in school. Then I went to college. He graduated from computer science. He was a computer worker. He used to do something. To fulfill this shock, he studied computer repairing and other information. He worked part-time for the car. When he was 20 years old, he became a teacher. He started doing small hacking. At the same time, there was another person in the same room. He was sitting in a 2-room house in Algeria. and the person sitting in the room was also a hacker. The person was Alexander Pennon. Alexander Pennon was 25 years old at that time. He was 20 years old. He was not very old. He was also a hacker. Alexander Pennon started this SpyEye. Then he thought that this guy is a spy, and he knew something else about Hamza, so he contacted Hamza. Now, two people who were born in this SpyEye, one was Alexander Pennon, and the other was Hamza Bendelladj, Algerian. So, two boys from Russia and Algeria make a software that they can enter anyone's computer. Now, after they made the software, they will enter through the virus through their computer. They send something like this, like you open it, there is something in it. So, through that virus, they enter through the computer. Like they enter, people log in, then they sit through this SpyEye app, and the entry through the virus that has been entered through the computer is like it entered in your theory. After that, your login, ID, password, then through it, your bank details, card details, PIN, all this information is now with them. Your entire computer, your entire system in mobile is now controlled by them. Through the virus, through this eye, they enter the computer in front of them and steal all the information. When all the information comes from the login, from the pass to the PIN, that you are generating everything, like we do net banking, or when we transition or do something, we get a PIN that we give to the registered mobile number. So they hacked it like this, that the PIN and mobile number, all the information is now with them. Thirdly, when all the information is controlled, they empty the account in the end, and slowly, the account of the people is emptied. In just 3 years, from 2009 to 2012, when I got a data, I found out that this amount is near $4 billion. So what they did was, they did it together that this SpyEye started selling it online, on darknet. But they didn't sell it to the sheriffs, they sold it to criminals, especially the Russian-based criminals. And now they also hack and earn money in the same way. So when the case happened in Georgia after that, the investigation of the investigation started. And then we found out about Hamza, about the pen, and now the investigation team alerted Interpol, and now their search started, but they are not getting any help. So this started from 2009. It started until 2012. After this, suddenly, in 2013, there is a story that is in 2013, on 8th of January 2013. In 2013, Hamza married his wife, who was married. He went to Malaysia to celebrate holidays. He had to go to Cairo from Malaysia. There was a stoppage in the middle of Thailand. He celebrated holidays in Malaysia. He was so smart that he was a hacker. He never used his phone for more than a day. Not just his phone changed every day. IME number changed. He never used his electronic gadgets for 24 hours, so that no one could see the other things in the world. He used his satellite phone. After all this, he went to Malaysia. He celebrated holidays with his wife. He had to go to Cairo, but he had to change the flight. He went to Thailand. When he reached Thailand, he landed on the airport. He had to catch the other connecting flight. But since Interpol had already given information about this, on the basis of this information, the data on the airport of Thailand is revealed in immigration. When they come, they get alerted and informed. Immigration officials come there. Hamza and his wife stop him. After that, they confirm that this is the same Hamza that Interpol wanted. When they ask him, he tells his full name. He says, "Yes, I am the same." But he says that there is no role in my wife. Let my wife travel. He is not even denying that he is a mischievous person. He says, "Yes, I am the same. I am the same who wanted through Interpol. I am not my wife. I have just married him." So it doesn't seem that he is a straight and honest person. He says, okay, you are his wife. He says that he is going on his journey. The next flight that he had to reach, he would have reached Cairo. He was stopped there. Now Hamza is in the custody of the Thai police. He was arrested on 8th of January. He was arrested on the airport. After that, after keeping him there, he was in between Thailand and the US. We can send the other criminals to search for him. There are not many countries in between, like America and Algeria. He was not in between. So, Tehran arrested Hamza. After that, he was arrested in the court. The US was given information. Through Interpol, the US team of the VIP came running. a person who hacked the computer for $60 million. The US had taken the loot of almost $4 billion. The wanted criminals were arrested. The team came running. The court was under the law. The court was under the law. And then, on 2nd May 2013, Theron arrested Hamza. The FBI team took him to the US with them, Atlanta. After bringing Atlanta, he started to take action. On 26 June 2015, meaning this was brought to the US on 13th May, he took action for 2 years. On 26 June 2015, one of the court in Atlanta, Georgia, killed Hamza for all this thuggy. The FBI reported that the 277th of the 270 banks, he stole $4 billion by hacking people's accounts. 270 banks, $4 billion, a huge amount, a huge amount. But from the agreement to hack this financial robberies, corruption, stealing, and money, for this, maybe in the US or even in the world, there is no death penalty, no punishment for death. Because even today, we believe in blood, kidnapping, and these things as a heinous crime. And to take the money's cheat, take the crores, take $4 billion, take the robberies. This is a white-collar crime, and this is not a heinous crime. It is a punishment for death. So these are the things that Hamza's work came to be. The court in 2015 for all the crimes, 15 years of imprisonment, and about $90 or $1 million crime. Now Hamza reached jail. During this time, the police team was not looking for his partner, Penning. After 1 year of Hamza's arrest, Hamza was arrested in 2013. After that, on 28th of January 2014, in 2013. In July 2013, Penning was caught, and it was caught in Atlanta International Airport, in some other city. So now, both the Banks of America, the American 217 Bank, hundreds of millions, in fact thousands of people, $4 billion were robbed. Both of them were caught. Penning was sentenced to 9 years sentence because Penning had hurt America completely. He had cheated more than the rest of the countries. But Hamza took all the crimes of the Americans and the Americans, which was sentenced to 15 years sentence. Now both are in jail at the moment. At the same time, there was news on social media. This was done maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This Hamza, the happy hacker, was caught because of the robberies. And there was a lot of news on social media because Hamza was a robber. He was a robber, he was a robber, he was a robber. There were a lot of such news in the Gulf and in Middle East that he was robbed of money. He hacked many Israeli banks and Israeli people. And most of the money was donated to Muslims and Muslims from the African countries. Suddenly he became a hero in Algeria and in those countries. And he was asked, he donated $4 billion. And he said, he donated millions of dollars. Now he has not even got any evidence for this. But when he got any evidence, he didn't get any evidence. And he didn't get any evidence for this. Then he thought that these are all lies. There is no truth in this. And he didn't do this. Then he was asked when he was on the Thailand airport, and the police would ask him a long time back. He said, "What are you doing at such a young age?" So he said, "I have 2 hobbies. One is to travel in a business or first class, which was my dream. One is a country, the other is a country. And the other is to live on the expensive side, which is very expensive, and to have a good life. So I do all these things for this. And the more I need, I don't do anything with the bank. I do hack and keep everything. But the day I need money, because I was in control of the account, I click on it that day and transfer the money to another place. So according to the need was made by itself." But he didn't tell anywhere that he had done charity in Palestine or Africa. He refused it. The FBI also reported that they have not received any evidence that Hamza was a good person. He was a good person, and he was 15 years old, so a picture of a prisoner came during that time. That picture was actually captured by 2 people in Iran. And the 2 people who were captured on those 2 places, Hamza and Penning, the 2 who were caught, were given their picture. And it was shown that America will capture them. Later, in Algeria, the ambassador of America had to give them a clean up, that we cannot capture them because this crime, the cyber law, the financial theft, for this, we do not have any punishment or death penalty. How can we give them? So, this matter stopped after that. And he said, otherwise, it was a matter of time that we should not be caught. And later, it was fake news. So, today's truth is that the most hacker, Hamza, was imprisoned in Atlanta, in America for 15 years. He has been sentenced for 7 years and 15 years. He has been sentenced to 222 years. If everything is fine for 8 more years, then he will be in prison for 30 years. He will be released after 30 years. It is possible that he will be released before that. If some law comes in the middle, and Penning is in jail now, he will be in jail for 7 more years. He will be released in 2024. This was the story of a hacker who was 24 years old, but he spent only $4 billion in his 24 years. Many times they say that if the mind is good, then it should be used in the right way. And this is the good and bad mind that is used in the right way. So you cannot stay happy for too long. You will be caught sometime, then you will be worried. So if this genius boy was in this cyber world, then he was a genius boy. Then according to cybersecurity, for the benefit of people, how to be removed from the hacker, if he was working on these things, then it could be that big companies are in this field, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and so on. So, maybe they keep him on a very high salary. But this is the bad thing. So this was the story of today's top 10 hackers, who are in jail for 15 years. Now,